If you are tired of spending countless hours editing your videos and you would like to automate the entire process specific to your shorts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, then this video is going to be for you. I'm going to focus on building out an automation workflow that uses Submagic's new API key in order for you to automate the editing of your shorts in seconds. We're going to be doing it for an example that I've got set up. I'm going to go through this n8n workflow that's on screen step by step, showing you every single piece of the puzzle that you need in order to get to that final product. It's super simple. I want to step you through it. I want to show you some of the nuances of what you'll need to set up, how you bring in the API key from Submagic, and we're going to go through all of that in this video. So without any further ado, let's get into it. We don't hold anything back on this channel, so I want to show you the output that you're going to receive so you can validate it right now before you watch the rest of this video. Essentially, through this workflow, we are going to input in a video. I've got a video over here, which is a blank video, that kind of a YouTube Shorts or TikTok type video talking about a specific company. And this is actually an AI generated avatar talking about a specific company that, I've worked with. So for example, let's play this.
So here's how I added crypto rewards to my app in one API call. I'm using this tool called Metal. It lets you create in-app tokens, aka app coins.
And so forth, 37 seconds, and you can see it's just someone sitting there with the mic talking. We want to add some editing to this. Through the workflow, we're going to end up with something like this.
So here's how I added crypto rewards to my app in one API call. I'm using this tool called Metal. It lets you create in-app tokens, aka app coins, without dealing with crypto nonsense. I'm talking create a token, distribute it to users, and
and so forth. So you can see there we've got the zooms, we've got the captions, we've got the B-roll, we've got the flashes and the different sounds that when it changes from, from section to section within the video, all of that is generated by Submagic through our automation. So really exciting stuff. I'm going to show you guys how to do this step by step. All right, so before we jump into the n8n workflow, which I want to go through step by step, I want to take a step back and just talk a little bit about Submagic itself. So Submagic is an AI-powered video editing software that essentially allows you to upload raw footage, be it long form or short form, so 30 seconds all the way up to 20-30 minutes. And it allows you to do any sort of format. So for example, you could do 9:16, which is like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, or you can do the 16:9, which is what you're watching currently now on YouTube. So you can upload that raw footage and then it uses AI in order to add captions, B-roll, any sort of edits, emojis, a whole bunch of different components in order for it to be completely fully edited, as you can see on screen. And it does that completely with AI in a couple of seconds. So it looks as though you've sent this off to an actual editor, paid money, and you've got that back from that person. And now you're doing this with AI, which is completely awesome. What we're doing with the API is we're taking a step beyond that. So with the API, which is an application programming interface, that's what API stands for. Essentially what we're doing is, and it sounds really technical, an API key is all it is a link with a secret key. We're going to take those two components, which we get from Submagic. We're going to plug it in to our n8n workflow so we can automate. We could automatically just send our raw video to a Google Drive folder, and then in a couple seconds get a completely edited video back. And that's what I'm going to show you guys in this video. So we're going to step through this automation next. Okay, so let me step you through the n8n automation. We're going to start with, we've got two main flows here, as you can see. All right, we're going to start with the bottom flow. The bottom flow, essentially how it works is it has a Google Drive trigger. What that means is we're going to link this to our Google Drive so that when you upload a video, it triggers that there's a new video added to our folder on Google Drive, and therefore we need to pass it to the next step. The next step is a link to our API, which is the link on Submagic, so that we can send it to Submagic to do the work it needs to. It will then connect to a webhook. So once it's completed by Submagic, it will send the completion to a webhook, which gets catched by this automation workflow. It then downloads the video and uploads the edited video back onto Google Drive. Okay, so step number one in this workflow is going and creating a new project in n8n. You're then going to click on the plus button and you're going to add a new node. We're going to search for Google Drive. You click on Google Drive and you're going to click on changes involving a specific folder. Once we click on that, we will get this pane. What you have to do is connect your Google Drive account. Now, it gets a little bit tricky on how to set up your Google Drive account, so I'm going to show you guys this also step by step. Click on create a new credential, and then you're going to see here, it's asking for a client ID and a client secret. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to this need help filling out these fields, and you're going to open up those docs. it's going to take you to the n8n docs on Google and specifically around how to connect it. You're going to come down to the prerequisites and you're going to have to connect to a Google Cloud account. It's completely free, so don't stress about that, but we're going to click on create a Google Cloud account. You're going to come through your Google Cloud account and then you're going to click on console. It's going to take you through to your Google Cloud. You may need to create your account, so just keep that in mind. But once you've created that account, you want to make sure you're in the right project. So you can see here, I've got a Submagic demo project already, but we can create a new one. So if we click on there and we open up our project, these are all the different projects I have. What you're going to do is you're going to click on new project. It's going to lead you to this screen. Now you can call it whatever you want. So we're going to just call it Submagic demo number 2, right? But you can call it whatever you want. Let's just call it demo 2. You can call it whatever you want. You don't have to connect it to any organization and you can just click create. Wait a second, and then you have it says here, create project Submagic demo 2. Once it said create in your notifications, you're going to click select project. It's now loaded up that we're in that project, and you can see that by this little component right over here, Submagic demo 2, and you want to get to this point. Next up, we want to allow Google to access things in this environment, in this project. So what you want to click on is the little burger menu, these little 3 lines. You want to come down to API and services, and you want to go to the OAuth consent screen. Once there, you want to click on get started. And here you're going to give an app name. So you can call it again, whatever you want. For simplicity's sake, let's just call it Submagic demo 2. And over here, you're going to select a support email. This will be the email that you create your account with. Very, very simple. You click next. Over here, you're going to go and click external because this is going to be available to an external party so that n8n can access it. And then your contact information, again, you can just pop in your email address, however you want to be contacted. There we go. And you can click next, and then you're going to say finish, I agree, continue, and create. This is going to create an application within your project. Next thing you want to do is you're going to come back to your menu. You want to go to API and services and come down to credentials. Click on credentials. So once you're within credentials, you want to come down to create credentials and you want to create an OAuth client ID. Click on that. And over here, we're going to select an application type. We're going to do it for a web application. And then you can, again, call it whatever you want. Again, for this sake, I'm going to call it Submagic demo 2, but you can call it whatever you want. And over here, you're going to come down to add URI for the authorized redirect URIs. Where do we get this from? You want to come back to n8n and it gives you the redirect URL over here, which you can just click to connect to, come back over through to your authorized URI, and you want to just paste it in there and click create. Cool. So now once that's completed, we're going to get a client ID and a client secret. You want to copy those and paste them into n8n as it sits over there. So that's our client ID. We're going to copy our client secret and you want to paste it in right over there. And then what you want to do is you want to say sign in with Google. When you click sign in with Google, you're going to select your account and it's going to bring you through. You can now see it says access blocked because we haven't completed the Google verification process. In order to work around that, what you want to do is come back to your Google Cloud Console, click OK. Then you want to click on the burger menu. You want to come through to your API and services. You want to go to enabled API and service, come down to OAuth consent screen again, come down to audience. And in audience, you're going to add in test. The test users you're going to add is yourself. So in here, we're going to add in your email address. That is your Google email address that you're trying to use to access the API. You save that. Cool. And that's saved over there. And then we can come back to n8n and we can try this again. Okay, cool. So it now says we're going to click continue. It hasn't verified this app, but do not stress. That's okay. Just click continue. Then you're going to say select all. So you give Google Cloud, or you give n8n Cloud access to Google. Click continue. Connection successful. It's going to redirect us back to Google Cloud, back to n8n. And right over there, you can see account is connected and we click X. Now we've connected our Google Drive account. Super simple, super easy, all done in like 5 minutes. Alrighty, so once we've done that, right, you're gonna connect to your Google Drive account. You're then gonna leave it at every minute, the mode, leave it as is. You're gonna leave this as is, but now we need to select the folder that we're gonna upload the raw video to. So you can create this folder on your Google Drive to whatever you want. You could call it ABC, 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. I've called ours Submagic videos. This is where I'm putting in the raw video, the one I want to be edited. And I've called it Submagic videos, and I've come over, if you come to this over here from list, you want to select that folder. We're going to say Submagic videos, and then we're going to say what we're watching for. We're watching for a file being created. So as soon as there's a file created on our Google Drive, it will up. That's perfect over there. So now we can actually say test event, and there you can see it's actually picked up our latest file, which has been uploaded if we come to there. So we've got this my video on there, and you can see my video has been added. Cool, so that's our first step over there. Now, the next trigger you want to do is an HTTP request. So you're going to add in a trigger, come to HTTP request, click on that. And now with your HTTP request, you're going to change the method to post, because we want to post this to the Submagic, via the Submagic API, so that we can actually get it edited. So you're going to click changes to this method to post, and then the URI or URL we're going to be using is going to be the following. We're going to be using the API submagic.co API. This can get found in the API documentation on Submagic, but for simplicity's sake, this is it. And authentication, we're going to come down to generic credential type. We're going to change the authentication type to a header authentication. And then we're going to come through to the header authentication account, and you can create a new credential. In here, you're going to basically add in x.api/x-API-key, and then the value is going to be the API key that you're going to get from Submagic. Where do you find it? Very, very simple. You come through to integrations. On Submagic, you come down up to manage API key, and over here, you can generate a new API key. Just remember, do not share your API keys around with people. Try and keep it, as personal, because if someone gets access to your API key, they could use it. So you're going to come through to API, and here you can regenerate an API key. We've already done this, so no stress for us. But once you've done that, click save, and it will save it as an API key. I would also advise just renaming the name of this header authentication account. When you create a new credential at the top here, you can rename it, just rename it to Submagic API key so you don't forget it. But I've added mine, and it's over there. So that's super simple. And then we're going to send the body. So we're going to send a body of information, and we're going to send that in JSON using JSON format, and we're going to have to enter in some information over here. So I've got that saved as well that I want to share with you, that you guys can get access to. And what you're going to see over here is if we scroll and we open that up, you can see the video URL is going to be our web content link, which actually comes from this over here. That's our web content link, which is our Google Drive link. So basically, it's just connecting to Google Drive, which was the node before. And then here we've got a few other parameters. So we're going to call it my video. This is going to be the title. And then we've got some specifications. So talk about zooms, B-rolls, B-roll percentages. All of this can be set as true or false, depending on how much editing you want to be done. So if you don't want any zooms, you can change this from true to false. You don't want any B-rolls, which is the additional videos that kind of overlay on top of the video that you edit. So as they're talking about, for example, cryptocurrency, it will bring up some cryptocurrency components or some stock footage. If you want that, yes or no, and then the percentage of that set to 50% all the way up or all the way down. And there are a bunch of others. So if you come through to API and you go through to integrations, there's API documentation where you can find a lot of different parameters that you can set within this setup over here. You just add it as a parameter within this expression, so you can add in more components, but these are the base ones that I think get us over the line anyway. And then your webhook URL. So you can see this has a whole weird URL that's over here. So what you're going to do over here, right, is you're going to input the webhook URL of our next flow. So if we take a step back, right, so let's go ahead and take a step back over here, and we create a new node. So if we search for a node, webhook, right? So we're going to search for the webhook URL. We've got a test URL and a production URL. Remember, this webhook is what's going to catch the response from Submagic with our final result. So we're going to be looking for that, listening to that, and then catch it so that we can then download it. So you need to connect the two, right? So once you create a new webhook URL, you'll get a test URL and a production URL. Make sure you copy the production URL. So go to production URL and then just tap and it will copy the link. You then come back to your HTTP request. You come down to the bottom over here and you'll go ahead and just paste that straight in as it is right over there. Just paste that in and you are good to go. Once you've done that, you are done with this step. So what do we have so far? We've got this first step over here and we've got the webhook. So let's test this step. If we go over here, we say execute this step, it's going to be looking for the node. And there you go, it's executed successfully, which means we've taken the video that is sitting on our Submagic videos, where that raw video is, we've passed it to Submagic and it's doing some analysis. We can actually see, if we come back to our dashboard, you can see my video today was just added and it's working on that video over there. One other thing I think is very important to keep in mind, and one of the things that a lot of people overlook, is make sure your folders are set to be shared with anyone or are shareable. What I mean by that is if we come back to Drive and you go to Submagic videos and you click share, right? We click share and we say share. You want to change it to anyone with the link, change to editor, so that n8n can go in and Submagic can go in and pull these videos. If you don't change these parameters, it's not going to be able to do that. And do it on both your folders, where your raw footage is and where it needs to be delivered once it's been edited. Just remember that. Cool. So we're going to move on to the next step now. Okay, so with this webhook, we make sure we change the method. So the method we're going to change is to post. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to leave everything as is. The only thing you want to change is this method to post. Once that's done, our next step in the process is going to be adding another HTTP request, which will download the video. So let's go and create an HTTP request. And in here, you're going to leave the method as get, and the URL you're going to use is going to be a JSON URL. So I'm going to actually give you guys that. And what I'll do is I'll make this available to download in the description below. This is also going to be a template that you can get off of Submagic anyway, but for the ease of use of you guys and my subscribers, I'm just going to give you guys it for free. So don't stress, that'll be in the link below. You can grab it. So you can literally pop this into n8n and you're good to go. So here we're going to download the JSON format of the video. And basically, once you've done that and you've set that up, everything else can stay the same. It's a very simple step, just to download that video. Then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to upload the file. So we're going to go again to Google Drive, right? So you're going to click on Google Drive, and over here, we're going to select upload file. Remember, not update file, upload file. And in that, you're going to connect your Google Drive account again. Make sure you connect to it. And the resource, you're going to leave it as file. The operation is upload. Input field is data. Leave that as is. And then the file name. The file name, you can call whatever you want, but just remember, we're going to have to bring in the body file. So for example, what I mean by that, I'll copy this in. We're going to call it exported dash, and then whatever the title is of file that's being sent back to us, right? So for example, what we end up with in exports here is exported dash my video, because we sent them here, we sent a Submagic my video. So just keep that in mind, call it whatever you want, and then just the title of the video that's going to be sent through. That's super simple. And then you select my drive. And again, from list, you be very careful. You want to go through and you want to make sure that you are choosing from the right folder. You're going to look for Submagic and we're going to call it exports. You can call this folder whatever you want. It's just where your output of video from Submagic is going to be sent. Once that's done, you can click out and we are good to go. So how do we make this work, right? Usually when you're testing things out, say execute workflow, but what it will do, it will only execute these first two steps. So what you want to actually do is save this. Then you want to make it change the inactive to active. Say, got it. So now the workflow is active. So what it's doing is actually listening continuously for a video. So what you want to do is you move from editor to execution. It'll pop up this little thing on the side. And now it's continuously listening. So whatever you upload, your Google Drive folder will be listening, right? So let's go to our Submagic videos. And what we're going to do is we're going to delete this video, right? And let's go over here and we're going to delete this video. So we have nothing in these folders. Now what I want to do is I want to upload the raw footage again. So I've got that on my desktop over here, my video. You can see it's over there. We're going to upload that. So you can see it's uploading now. We'll wait till it completes its upload. It won't take too long. It's like 30 seconds. And then we'll go to n8n to wait for the trigger for it to be picked up, downloaded off Google Drive, sent to Submagic, processed by Submagic, fully edited, sent back to our Google Drive in the other folder, which is the Submagic exports, which is currently empty, but should have our exported video in there. So we're just waiting for this to finish uploading. Okay, cool. It's just finished uploading. Now we're gonna come to n8n and we're gonna wait, right? So we're currently sitting at, it's 6:13 p.m. So we should hopefully see it set to auto refresh. So you literally just put your hands up. There you go, 6:13. As I put my hands up, came through. So we click on that. And over here, you can see it's executed the first step. So it's downloaded the video, sent it to our API, right, on Submagic. And hopefully in about a minute or so, we'll get another update with the new URL, with the other components of n8n workflow that's been executed. And there we go, 8:16, we've got 2.5, 3 minutes later. Click on that one there. We've got the other one has completed. And if we go to our Submagic exports, we've just had an exported video that's come through. And if we click on that and we load it up, I might just need to load, we can download it. Okay, cool, so that's loaded up. And as you can see,
so here's how I added crypto rewards to my app in one API call. I'm using this tool called Metal. It lets you create in-app tokens, aka app coins, without dealing with crypto nonsense. I'm talking create a token, distribute it to users, and ultimately let people buy and sell them. No wallets, no block explorers, no gas headaches, just clean endpoints. I'm using it to reward users who engage with my app. And yes, there's real retention magic in it. If you're building anything community-driven or AI-powered, Metal makes token integration dead simple. Just comment the word Metal and I will send you a link. So here's...
And there you go. Simple as that. That is our automation, which is set and forget now, where we could upload any raw footage into a Google Drive. It gets processed automatically, outputted, fully edited, and we can then go ahead and add maybe an additional automation here that picks that up and then posts it on to our socials, right? Or maybe we put it into an Airtable. Once we click approve, it then goes through to posting on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and so forth. And that's the power of AI, it's the power of Submagic, and specifically their brand new API, which is awesome and been great to play around with. So shout out to them for providing that access, and definitely something you guys should check out. There's a bunch of links in the description below that you can check out. I'll add a link to this full workflow so you can download it and just upload, and you can start working on it and start building out your own little AI-powered assistant through n8n and Submagic. On that note, that is the video, everyone. I would highly appreciate it if you had some benefit out of this to drop a subscribe on the video. It does amazing things for the channel. Over 96% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you've been watching this channel or you watch this video and giving you some benefit, I'd really appreciate a follow. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.